in order to say yes with your body, in order to be an embodied yes to the moment, your body would need to be soft and relaxed so it could receive in openness. The front surface of your body would need to be physically soft. Your breath would need to be full. So these are physical requirements. Can you imagine trying to say yes with your body if your breath was up here in your throat? Like your body just couldn't do it. So there's the physicality of your yes, the embodiment of your yes. And as we were talking about earlier, in order to be deeply sensitive, you need to feel. In order to feel, you need to soften. I mean, for those of you who've heard me do this before, I'll do it again because it's just so important. So let's say you have your hand and you really clench your hand and just touch this inner part here while it's really, really clenched hard. So this is very tense and you're touching it. And now let it go. Really soften, and now touch. Like it's entirely different. That is the impact of physical clench. So the clench, the physical tension, prevents sensation. It numbs sensation. This is why there's nothing worse than your lover trying to get you to have an orgasm and your body becoming more and more tense because it's not happening. Like you numb sensation. It's a protective mechanism. It's what we do when we're about to go into fight or flight. The whole body tenses. It's not the time to be deeply feeling and sensitive. It's the time to get your ass out of there or to fight for your life. And so it's really important to know that physically, when your body is tense, it numbs you to sensation, right? To physical sensation on the surface. But think about it. If you have an internal clench physically, it numbs you from deeper feeling. So we're not just talking about surface feeling, we're talking about deep feeling. You want to know not just how does your chest feel in response. You want to know how does the deep cave of your heart feel in response to this in the moment. And so in order to feel with that deep cave of your heart, it would need to be relaxed and not clenched. So the reason the first practice we did was you wibbling and wobbling and moving your body in a way that would relieve you is because we were releasing tension from the body. We did that for however long we did it, 10 minutes. You could do that for an hour, and over time, first it would be surface tension, then another layer of tension and another layer of tension. It's deeply important to relieve your body of the tension, to release the tension from your body so that you can feel. So physically, your body would be soft, your breath would be full. Not only would this front surface would be soft and open, there would be just layers of openness within you. That internal channel that we're always talking about of, cervix, heart and throat, that would need to be physically engaged. And all that requires is you noticing, oh, I have a cervix. Oh, like as soon as you notice you have a cervix, as soon as you bring awareness to the physicality of your cervix, blood flows into that area, sensation increases in that area. So it's really important to cultivate what your body would need physically to say yes, okay? Equally important is to cultivate what your body would need to say no. A better way to say it is you trust yourself physically. You trust yourself to embody that no. You trust your voice to say no. You trust your body to say no. And yet the greatest gift you can give yourself is to trust yourself in your physical capacity to say yes and mean it. To trust yourself in your physical capacity to say no and mean it. And your physical no in your body is strong and supple, like it's responsive. It's not rigid, right? It's strong and supple. So a martial artist doesn't stand there with rigidity. It's very fluid and powerful and responsive. So that's the physicality of it. And then you have emotionally. In order to say yes emotionally, you need to be rooted in the fullness of love you are. You're not saying yes because you need something. You're saying yes because you are everything. You're so much of everything that it's overflowing, and you want to invite someone into that. So your yes emotionally is rooted in your fullness. And your motive is not to get something. It's to be all you are with another. So you're already being all you are. And another comes along and you want to be all you are with that other. And so your emotional yes is rooted in fullness. It's a devoted declaration of, here's my heart, it's overflowing. Come in. I want you to want my heart. I want you to want me. It's an emotional feeling of wanting but not needing, of invitation rather than armor. And emotionally, it requires trust. Trust in yourself. Trust in the other. And I think what's important to say about trust is you practice trusting yourself so that the self-trust is unwavering, so that you could respond in trust to the masculine. So let's say you're making love. You are the fullness of love. Your body is soft. Your front surface is open. Emotionally, you have this feeling of you're rooted in your fullness. You can feel that yearning in you, that yearning to be entered in that fullness. Because your partner is human, they will waver in their trustability moment by moment. That's why it's so important for you to be rooted in self-trustability, so that when he wavers, and that could mean he the masculine, could be he or she, wavers as in, starts thinking about work, starts focusing on your nipple rather than your whole beautiful being. In whatever way his consciousness is become limited, and therefore he's not feeling you as deeply as you would need to surrender, your responsiveness to his trustability or lack thereof is essential. You can't respond to him unless you trust yourself, unless you trust the response that's moving through you, that it is a present moment response, not residue from the past. And you're expressing that response to the part of him you do trust. So he thinks about work, it's untrustable, his consciousness is gone there, needs to be here. You respond to the part of him that you do trust about the part of him that is being untrustable in this moment. So you respond to the part that you do trust about the part that is being untrustable. And when you do that, you transform what is expressing how you feel as an invitation rather than as an accusation, because you're actually speaking to the part of him that knows deep down he has lost trustability, because he has lost, like, he knows that deep down. But if you speak to the part of him that's being untrustable, it's how can I describe it? Your response gets dispersed. The part of him that's being untrustable is not fully conscious, so how could that part of him receive your invitation? It's the same when you're making love. If he gets all distracted and you say to the distracted part, how can I trust you? And da 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 da. Like, you're speaking to the part of him that's distracted, but if you drop into your heart and from your belly speak to the part of him that is trustable, it's like, it's a revelation of vulnerability to that part that you know has the capacity to hold you in this. So emotionally, your yes is rooted in fullness. You're an overflow of fullness. You're trusting in yourself and in the other. You're emotionally, your no is rooted in clarity. It's rooted in power. It's rooted in discernment. It's rooted in courage to act beyond past patterns or past hurt. So it's hard to describe as this becomes a little more intangible, but the way to describe it is emotionally your no becomes without question. It's without question, like, I'm not going to tolerate that. That's not okay. Like, emotionally, the feeling in your body is of this deep clarity rather than defense. So it's not an emotional defense of you're wrong, fuck you, whatever else comes out. It's an emotional clarity of this is what is okay for me, this is what is not. It's an emotional depth of clarity. And what I mean when I say it's without question, I mean if you said it emotionally, the person would feel it before you'd even said it.